Oh, sorry. What's up, coders? I'm Allie, and I'm your host for Code Along with Black Girls Code. I was just listening to a super cool song I made. That's right. We can combine two of my favorite things, music and coding, to create our very own tunes. In this episode, we'll learn how to use the platform TunePad to code our own music. We'll cover making music in 2 episodes. You can code along with me and make a song just like mine, or make your own while we learn to code. Ready to become the next musical superstar? Let's get coding. Before we win our Grammy, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss another episode. First, let's create an account on TunePad by going to tunepad.com and clicking Join in the top right. You can either use your Google account or make an account to sign up with TunePad. After you create an account, you'll see your project page. Let's start by making a new project by clicking the blue button in the top right. You should see a pop-up. Just go ahead and close that. Now you see the true user interface of TunePad. Let's go over how to use this screen. The center of our page is where our instruments, called cells, will be. A cell represents an instrument or group of sounds that we can play by typing code. Right now, we don't have any cells, so let's get started with a drum kit since we're going to make beats today. Click the plus button and select drums. Now we can see what a cell is like. At the top left is our cell's name. Under that is our play and stop buttons, and further below that is where our notes will play in what's called a piano roll. What are notes? Notes are sounds played for a certain amount of time, or a number of beats. You may have heard the term beat before. It's what keeps the song in time. If I clap like this, I can talk to the beat. Each word I say is on beat. Beats are very important in making music. Notice how in the piano roll there are numbers and words up top: beat, 2, 3, and 4. Beats go in groups of 4 to make what's called a measure. When writing your music, you want to keep this in mind. Music has a lot of repetition in it, and we tend to repeat certain parts of the music 1 or 2 times for 8 beats, and then move on to the next repeating section. Also on the piano roll, there's a yellow line that shows where in the music the audio is currently playing when you press the play button. Below the piano roll is where we will type our code to make sounds. Lastly, we have our bottom section, where the instrument information will be displayed. There's a drop-down in the top left for what instrument or sounds to play, and the bottom section is all the different sounds the instrument can make. For our drums, we have what's called a drum kit that has all the sounds of a set of drums that you might have seen in real life. Here, let's try it out. You'll notice that each sound has a number attached to it. When we write our code, we'll reference this number to be the sound we want to play. All right, that's it for cells. On the right-hand side of the screen is the list of cells we have for our project. You can add more by clicking Add Cell button. And if you have multiple cells, you can rearrange them by clicking and dragging them. The tabs at the top of the screen allow you to see different views of your music, as well as how fast the song is and the number of beats per measure. For this project, we will leave the beats per measure the same, but feel free to change the speed of the song. BPM stands for beats per minute. So, at the moment, 120 BPM or 2 beats per second. I'm going to leave mine at 120 BPM, but feel free to adjust yours. I think this is a great place to get started making music. Let's get back to our drums, shall we? Let me try making a drum beat right now without code. That sounds pretty good, but nothing is being saved in our piano roll. So, time to code this beat out. We'll start off by using what's called a function. A function in programming runs a bunch of code for us related to the function's name. So, if we were thinking of real life, we could have a function called cook dinner to have the function cook dinner for us. That would be convenient. Functions take inputs to tell them more information about what to do. So, going back to that cook dinner function, we could input steak, and the cook dinner function would cook steak for us. In our case, we will use a function called playNote to play our drum sounds. playNote has several inputs, but first, we'll just do the most important one, the sound number. I started off with the kick 1 sound, so I'll type playNote 1. Make sure the N is capitalized and that there are no spaces in your function name. Our input is surrounded by parentheses. Oh look, there's a green line in our piano roll. That represents the one note we just coded up. Press the play button to hear it. Notice how the yellow line moves across the piano roll to show we're playing? The music also loops back so we can continuously work with our sounds. When I was thinking up my drum beats, I didn't want it to last for just one beat length. It needs to be longer. To do that, we're going to add another input to our function, beats. Put a comma after 1 and type the word beats followed by an equal sign. This means we're assigning the beats input to a value. I'm going to set the beat to 1.5. It's going to play one beat plus half of that. If you want to do a different length of beat, you use decimals. 1 is the default value of the beats input, so you don't have to put the beats input in if you just want your sound to play one beat. The note is longer in the piano roll now. If we play it, the sound lasts a bit longer than last time. I'm now going to go ahead and type out the rest of my playNote functions to play the beat I came up with. Pro tip: try making the total number of beats equal 4 or 8. That gives you a really good loop of beats to jam to for your song. Also, I'm going to add both kick sounds in, 0 and 1. Feel free to mix in different sounds into your drum beat. Here's my code. Feel free to copy this or pause the video to create your own code. Now, let's take a listen. Ooh, yeah, I like it. I mean, the only thing is, I think it's missing a little something. Let's add more sounds. I think I want some snares to play while the drums are playing. How can I do that? If I add a snare at the end of my code, it'll just play the snare after the kicks. So instead, I'll make another cell with the same drum kit and name the cell Snares. I'm also going to make my drum beat that's made out of kicks to be titled Kicks. That way I can tell the difference between the two cells. Let's get started making some snares. But it's kind of hard without listening to the kicks, huh? I can fix that by pressing the play button on the kick cell. Now I can try out some snare beats as the kick sounds repeat, and then code up my snares after. That sounded pretty good. Here's my code using the playNote function. Pause the video if you need a second to check it out. I think I want one less drum sound to round out our drum beats. I like the idea of claps and shakers, so I'm going to create a new drum cell called claps and shaker. Here's what my claps and shaker are going to sound like. I really want the claps to be really fast and then slow down for the last 2 beats. So I'm going to play the claps at 0.25 beats most of the time. Hold on, I've been making all of my other drum beats 2 measures or 8 beats. 0.25 beats for 6 beats is so many. I'd honestly have to copy paste the playNote function so many times. Who has time for that? Don't worry, there's a way to do this with a small amount of code called a for loop. For loops repeat a certain number of times. Here's the syntax for it. For I in range 0, 4, we start with the word for and then the letter I. I represents the current loop number we're on. We won't use it for this project, but feel free to use it in your code. Range is a function that starts at the first input number and ends at the last input number. I want to loop 4 times, so I'm going to put 0 and 4. We start with 0 because in the programming world, anything related to counting starts with 0 instead of 1 due to how code interacts with computers. Finally, we use a colon to say we're done declaring the for loop. After that, we're going to write the code we're looping. Under the for loop, we'll put our playNote function call for the clap instrument with 0.25 beats. But be careful. In order to tell the code that this playNote function is the one repeating, we indent the code to look like it's inside the for loop. Oh wow. It already put 4 notes in the piano roll, and I didn't have to write the code 4 times. I actually want to use the for loop to play 4 repeated sections, so I'm going to add more playNote function calls below the first one. Make sure if you're adding any more calls to it, you also indent those lines. Look at that! I have 6 beats of code, and I didn't have to repeat those notes over and over. For loops are handy, aren't they? I want to finish out my second measure with 2 beats of shakers. So to do that, I make sure those 2 lines of code are not indented to show that it's outside the for loop, which means it's not getting repeated. And my claps and shakers are finished. Let's listen to the whole thing. Ooh, I really like the claps and shakers on this one, but I feel like they're a little bit loud. We can fix that with another input to our playNote function, velocity. Velocity represents how loud our sound is, and it's a scale from 0 to 100. I'm going to set all my claps and shaker sounds to 50 by adding a comma after my beats, the word velocity, the equal number sign, and the number 50. I can also do this with the shakers by putting that same code after the note number. Let's take another listen. And right now seems like the perfect time for a dance party. And with that, I'm done with my drum sounds. In today's episode, we learned how to get started in TunePad, how to use for loops, playNote functions, and how to create the first part of our song, the beat. In the next episode, we'll learn how to add the bass and the melody. Thanks for coding along with me. See you next time.